Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here. It's Tuesday the 28th of September 2010 and it's, well, the light has gone and it's just after, was it 7:30, 20 to 8 here in the United Kingdom, and already the evenings are drawing in, which I think I said on my last posting. And I wanted to talk to you about one or two things tonight. I'm going to show you where I positioned my SP25 Mark III Garrard deck, and I want to play you something on that. But before then, I've got a few parish notices I was going to make. The first one is, do you remember I've been doing some work on complaining about the switchover from the analogue FM signal, or long wave and medium wave, of course including the FM, to the digital signal, the DAB signal. Well, there's been some more debate in the Daily Telegraph, dated September the 18th this year, and Sue McGregor is one of the people this time having a go really about this. I'll just show you this little bit of paper here. Here we go. This is the article that appeared over that weekend. Now, Sue McGregor is a broadcaster on Radio 4. Radio 4, for those who don't know, and if you don't, you should tune in, is the speech channel of the BBC, and there's lots of great stuff on there. Political debate and lots of news items there as well. John Humphreys is the compere in the morning on the breakfast show that I listen to when I'm having a shave and getting ready for work in the morning, and it's great fun listening to John and all his colleagues. But Sue McGregor also has done some work on there too. Now on this one, Sue's talking about the use of DAB and the fact that she went into a department store to buy herself a new radio, and quite frankly wasn't very impressed with what she saw and also what she's been hearing, because the switchover was supposed to be taking place in 2015. A new report has said this is probably going to be pushed back to 2017, or when 50% of the radio sets are actually known to be on the new DAB signal. Now, so it's quite an interesting article. I thought it was a rather nice little picture there of, again, a family sitting round a 1930s or perhaps a bit later radio set there. The other thing to go along with this, I was reading an article in this week's Telegraph, I think it was this week's, just gone, which was saying that there's actually the Wi-Fi sets, Roberts radios, which produce sort of these rather classic looking sets here, have actually produced a similar type of set that takes Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi might even take over from DAB, or even another thing called DAB+, which will make DAB obsolete. So the jury's still out really, and I think the more weight that's being sent on there will, I think we should still retain the FM signal personally. The FM signal works perfectly, as I've said before. But I won't bore you with the previous rant that I had about that. So that was the one, the parish notice. The other thing is that, as some of you know, I've been reading this book by Ray Pallett about Alboli and his life, and I've now got to the interesting part of the book where it's a song style is supreme about his life here, about him as a person, and it's a fantastic read, this. So if any of you out there want to buy this book, I thoroughly recommend it. It's been a fantastic journey through the life of Alboli and his records. A very generous man, a very nice guy. No one has said anything nasty about Alboli in this book. Well, perhaps you would say they wouldn't, would they? It's an autobiography. But I mean, considering that he died on the 17th of April 1941, some years since he's been gone, 70 years next year, and of course Ray Pallett, who also is the editor of this little magazine called Memory Lane. If you want anything to do with Alboli and also any of the early dance band music, then this is the magazine that you must get hold of. It's Memory Lane, and it comes out every quarter. This is the autumn one, this year's autumn one, and there's a fantastic read in here about Paula Green. I think I may have mentioned that before, but fascinating stuff in this. So if you're interested in any of the early dance band or music, then this is definitely the magazine to get hold of. There is actually a CD out accompanying this book on Alboli, But you can go on the Memory Lane website and find out all about this. And I came across this purely by accident. This book was about £20. I think it was £20, and from Amazon I got this, and a really good read. So thoroughly recommend that. I know one or two of you have been asking if it's worth getting. Well, I'd certainly say it's the definitive, well, the most definitive recording. Now, the other thing that a friend of mine gave me at work was this very good double cassette box set from the BBC archive collection. It's called Itmar. Now, for those of you who don't know about Itmar, Itmar was a radio show that was transmitted during the war years, during the 1940s, and also had Tommy Handley. Now, Tommy Handley, I think, is one of the British best comics. But I've listened to this from end to end, these tapes, and they really are quite funny. You have to follow the theme there, but there's some wonderful classic bits there. And I might even put one on a posting, because I think they're worth listening to. These particular recordings are taken from the Army, the Air Force and the Royal Navy, and then the London Palladium at the end, which was after the Second World War when all the group came together. But they toured the country and gave shows all round to the various, as I said, the various tri-service, and such an interesting, fascinating there. There's a lovely picture of Tommy Handley on there with the BBC microphone, that beautiful magnetic microphone there, and great stuff with the BBC. Going along with that, there's also this year we're celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Britain, and to go along with that, some of you know that I've been reading the fascinating story of Guy Gibson, the book Enemy at the Coast, or Enemy Coast Ahead, should I say. I think where is it here? Enemy Coast Ahead, here we go. This is the definitive book by Guy Gibson. This copy I actually found in a charity shop just by chance, and it's quite a small book, it's not that big. The dust cover had come off, and this was actually to the School Captain's Prize, awarded to Malcolm Pugh between 1953 and 1954, and the headmaster there of Patchway Secondary School in Almondsbury near Bristol. So if anyone out there knows that school, I'd be happy to hear from you. It was actually presented on the 21st of June 1954. But this book's quite a fascinating read. And going along with that, of course, we've got the Dam Busters, which of course Guy Gibson was very much part of, and Richard Todd speaking on this cassette. Now, I've had a copy of this cassette for a while, since the 1980s, would you believe? But the second cassette in the box didn't run for me, so I've managed to find another copy in my local library. And having searched on eBay for quite a long time and not found anything, I found 2 copies last week, so I've actually won one of them for the great princely sum of just under £5. I don't know, that's bad, is it? So I'll be able to replace my copy. But what I was going to make, I was going to do my own tribute to the Royal Air Force and those wonderful Spitfire and Hurricane pilots, and those, of course, in Lancaster bombers as well, who risked their lives and gave us our freedom, basically. Along with that, I've got hold of a very good CD by Dan Snow, and Dan Snow, as some of you may know in this country, is a chap who's made several programmes on the Yesterday channel. I think he was a Cambridge rower and was in the Cambridge and Oxford boat race, I think, one turn. His father, of course, is also quite famous, and he's part of the Snow dynasty. Jon Snow, of course, does Channel 4 News, so I think they're all part of the same family. But this particular CD here is really a walkthrough of all the coastal airfields in Kent, and of course I live in Kent as part of the southeast. And on here there is this has been produced by Kent County Council in association with others as well, but it is quite fascinating, and there's even here a reference by the Battle of Britain Memorial, Group Captain Patrick Tootle, who I actually do know, who used to work locally at a place called Aylesford near Maidstone, and worked for the Royal British Legion for a while. I know he and his wife quite well, and he actually makes a comment on here as well. So there's some interesting bits on this. So if they might still have something. I got this one free. I just got it in the local Kent Messenger, which is a local Kent newspaper, and I was lucky enough to be one of the 2,000 that managed to get hold of a copy of this. I might actually do a posting on there for you, but I'm sure there are others. And it's actually, you can actually take a drive round the air stations following Dan Snow's commentary, but you can also listen to it as well. It lasts about an hour, this particular CD. So I wanted to just make a plug for that. So there are a few things there. So just turning to things more in the office here, I mentioned to you that I was going to talk to you about the Garrard record deck SP25 Mark III. And what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to play you something just to show you it in operation, because the dynamic range of this particular deck has been very good. And I've also increased that by using a special neo-foam record cover on the deck. And if you remember, when I had my Hitachi, I actually used some felt. Well, I've actually found a chap on eBay who sells these neo-foam record platter covers, and I've cut this one to size and put it onto the deck, so that it reduces the amount of rumble that you get as well. So now the record I picked out amongst my hundreds, and I don't know why I picked this one, but I just came to mind, was by a chap called Harry Lauder. Here he is. This is Harry. Now he's quite famous. He died actually in 1950. He actually did a lot of charity work. Obviously Scottish descent, and his most famous one was "Keep Right On to the End of the Road." And I thought it was rather apt actually that I should play this. So what I'm going to do this evening is just show you around the SP25 and the Mark III, and then I'll play this record. So let's do that now. Now I will have to move the camera, so just bear with me, won't you, while I do that. And so let's do that now, shall we? There we go. I don't switch the blasted thing off. Right, so here we go. Now it's, as you notice, it's in the same position as the Hitachi deck, but of course you can see here quite clearly the Stanton 500 cartridge there, which has got its brand new stylus at the end with a red flash on there. I've also got one for 78, and this plinth here is just the right size to fit on top of the JVC. Now the JV, you probably just about see that the lighting's a bit dull tonight because we haven't got much daylight coming through the window there, but that's the JVC that I use. And also, of course, I'm using these Jamo speakers, which are Danish, and then that's my desk where I sit doing all my work. So I've had to obviously illuminate that with my famous light above there. And because the deck is slightly darker, it doesn't always reflect the light well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put Mr. Panasonic down. There we go. I'm just going to put it there. Okay. And then what we might need to do is actually make this in two parts, because we're just coming up to 13 minutes 59, or 14 minutes, only got a minute. So what I will do, I'll make two parts of this, so I'll see you on part 2.